Amitabh Bachchan is a 79-year-old Indian actor, film producer, television host, occasional playback singer, and former politician. Although he is a jack of many trades, he is known primarily for his work in Hindi cinema. He's one of the wealthiest Bollywood actors, worth somewhere in the vicinity of $400 million. That's a lot of money to spend. Stay tuned to see how he spends it. How Amitabh Bachchan made a name for himself. Bachchan has stood the test of time, acting in movies since the late 60s. Bachchan has been appearing in films for over 50 years. The decision to get into acting was an idea inspired by his mother. The first film he acted in was a 1969 film, Sayat Hindustani, where he was one of the film's 7 protagonists. For a few years after that, the actor was considered somewhat of a failure. In his early 30s, things were not looking too good for him. That was when a pair of screenwriters, Salim Khan and Javed Akhtar, were looking for someone to star in their film Zanjeer. A lot of actors didn't want to take on the role because it was action-packed and violent in a time where romantic heroes were the kings of the screen. After a lot of rejection from actors, the pair of screenwriters came across Amitabh Bachchan. They saw his talent and felt that he was the ideal actor to play the character. They made the right choice considering the fact that the movie was a box office hit and earned Bachchan his first Filmfare nomination for Best Actor, and thus began the career jump for Amitabh Bachchan, almost ending his career. 10 years after Bachchan starred in Zanjeer, he starred in the film Coolie. One of the scenes in the movie called for Bachchan to jump onto a table and then onto the floor. While attempting to do the stunt, he hit his abdomen on the corner of the table, resulting in a splenic rupture, causing a heavy loss of blood. He was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. He would recover from the wound, fortunately, but he would find himself weaker than he was previously, causing him to eventually quit making movies altogether after Coolie came out. He would step out of the spotlight for 5 years, returning in 1988 with the film Shahenshah, another box office smash. Unfortunately, the next 3 movies he released, which all were released in the year 1989, were box office failures. This is what would cause the actor to go into a 5-year retirement. While in his retirement, he would set up Amitabh Bachchan Corporation Ltd, a company that defines itself as being created to introduce products and services covering an entire cross-section of India's entertainment industry. It wasn't until 2000 when Bachchan would officially make it into the spotlight. Mritu Data. How did Bachchan come to be worth $400 million? Bachchan has been in a lot of movies since the start of his career, but it's not just the acting that got him the money. Although it wasn't only great paydays for the actor who found himself nearly bankrupt in 1999. The veteran actor does get his money from movies, but it's not always being in them. Aside from being the star of 200 movies, Bachchan also does work behind the camera. He's also produced a couple of films. Some of the movies he's produced include Shamitab Pa Budhudag Hogo Tera Bap. Bachchan is also the host of the game show Kaun Banega Crorepati, which is the Indian version of the series Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Bachchan also gains some of his funds from non-film or television works. Aside from being an actor and producer, the Indian superstar also has dabbled in real estate. Earlier in the year, Bachchan purchased a 5,184 square foot duplex worth, in American money, $4 million. The property comes with a very large 6-car garage. It's said to be located on the higher 20 floors of the incredibly huge building. Amitabh Bachchan's incredible car collection, with a very astounding net worth of $400 million and money steadily coming in from other projects. Bachchan can spend very large amounts of money and get it back. So what does he choose to spend his wealth on? Well, Amitabh Bachchan is a collector of the finest motor vehicles. Some of the cars that are inside Bachchan's insane garage include the Bentley Arnage. Went out of production in 2009. Before it went out of production, Amitabh Bachchan made sure that he got his hands on the car. Another one of the cars owned by Amitabh is the Mercedes-Benz SL500, most likely known as the Mercedes-Benz Roadster at the time he bought it. Released in 2020, is worth $91,000 for the SL450 model and $114,700 for the SSL 550 model. Director Vidhu Vinod, who Bachchan worked with on the 2007 film Eklava Chopra, gifted the veteran actor a Rolls-Royce Phantom as a gift. It's a car that the actor has been seen in very often. The car is quite expensive. It's worth in United States dollars $479.94.65. Amitabh Bachchan's family. In terms of a legacy, his films are not the only thing he is responsible for. He also has 2 children, Abhishek Abhishek, his son, is 45 years old, while his daughter, Sweta, is 47. Sweta is a columnist and author. She's also spent some time in the past as a model. With her work as an author, she has released Paradise Towers, which became a bestseller. Back in 2018, she also launched her own fashion label. Her brother, though, took after their father, becoming an actor and film producer, starring in the new Bob Biswas film as the titular character. Their mother and Amitabh's wife, Jaya Bachchan, is an actress as well. She's been praised for her ability to enforce a natural side of acting in both mainstream and what is called middle-of-the-road cinema. Aside from her career in acting, she's also done work in politics, being a member of the Rajya Sabha since 2012. The 73-year-old actress is the member of parliament from Samajwadi Party. Starting in the position in the year 2004, she was re-elected for the first time, and again in 2006, 2012, and then the most recent in 2018. Amitabh Bachchan's time as a politician. In the year 1984, Bachchan decided to turn his time away from acting for a while to focus on politics. He went after the spot of the 8th Lok Sabha, a role that was occupied by H.N. Bahuguna. He would go on to win by what is the highest victory margins in all of the general election history. He would only serve for 3 years before resigning, calling politics a cesspool. The resignation was caused by a scandal that newspapers spread, which Bachchan vowed to take to court. While Bachchan is no longer in the world of politics, he's still known to lend a hand when needed. He still appears in the campaigns and advertisements. The party uses Bachchan's fame to win the people of India over. Their connection to the superstar actor comes from his wife Jaya, who we previously discussed is a member of the party. Stardust and a couple of other popular magazines imposed a 15-year speaking ban on the actor. Bachchan defended himself by saying that he instead was the one who banned all members of the press from entering his sets up until the later years of 1989. Amitabh Bachchan's scandal. Before talking about the scandal, we must say first that while the scandal was very serious, Bachchan was found not guilty, and it was later discovered that the actor was framed and falsely alleged. The Bofors scandal was a major weapons contract political scandal that transpired in India and Sweden. During the 1980s and 90s, Indian and Swedish governments who were accused of getting kickbacks from Bofors AB, an arms manufacturer that is financed by the Wallenbergs family, Skandinaviska and Skilda Banken. The scandal broke out on the 16th of April in 1987 after a radio station talked to a whistleblower in the Swedish police. The whistleblower alleged that Bofors paid kickbacks to people in several questions, including both Sweden and India. The newspapers in India had no idea that this was going on whatsoever. It was revealed in 1987 by a broadcast on a Swedish radio that bribes of 92 million in US dollars had been paid by Bofors to Indian politicians. The case was taken on by Sten Lindstrom, who was the chief of police at the time, who was the one who leaked the documents. He was also the one who cleared Amitabh Bachchan. Amitabh Bachchan has had a somewhat great career over the span of his 70 years, minus the time where he was out of the limelight and low on money, but he quickly made a name for himself again. He's a veteran actor that has garnered the much-earned respect from the people of India. He'll be turning 80 and he'll probably spend it by driving one of his very lavish cars around.